we're gonna have a sweet little conversation and a breakdown about Ardha Chandrasana Namaskar, which is the yoga asana half moon. I am sure many of you, like me, early on in your practice or are on the verge of experiencing a vinyasa or a power yoga class wherein you're feeling nice and warmed up and you've done some very strong foundational work in warrior and triangle and even a dancing warrior series. And next thing you know, your teacher says, Ardha Chandrasana Namaskar, or take your variation of half moon. And you look around the room and everybody's levitating. And you're like, how did they get there? What have they done? What do I do? Why can't I do that? How do I do that? And if you're in a fast-paced class with a lot of regular yogis, you're not getting quite the breakdown or the attention in this posture that you might like to have. With that all being said, Ardha Chandrasana Namaskar, or half moon, is an externally rotated balancing asana. So if you're not warmed up, maybe just observe this video and take in the information. Or if you want to participate and play along in your practice, I definitely recommend first warming up with some sun bees and maybe some dancing warrior sequences just to get that external rotation and that fluidity and mobility exposed in your body before we begin. But without further ado, let's learn a little bit about half moon. I'm going to begin by offering you a variation of half moon that is on the floor and grounded. This is a modification that is lovingly often referred to as baby half moon, and it is one of my favorite postures to incorporate in any low floor postures that I may be doing. But I'm here to tell you that this can be your full expression half moon. If you're not feeling ready to fly or ready to put that kind of weight on your balancing leg yet, you can take half moon in its baby form whenever serves you or whenever it's called in a class. So just to build that up, you're starting in a tabletop position here. And whichever side you're going to choose to treat as your balancing leg, which I'm going to use my left side here, whichever side you're going to choose to use as your balancing leg, you're going to begin to transfer your weight onto it ever so slightly. Now checking in here that your hands are below your shoulders, knees are below your hips. You're going to begin to shift that weight onto whichever side you're going to want to balance on. The next thing you're going to do is swing your balancing leg towards the rear of your body, towards your buttocks, whichever side that is. And again, you're beginning to shift your weight onto that balancing side of your body. Next, I suggest taking your lifted leg long behind you, still on the floor. Here, you're going to raise one hand towards the ceiling, balancing side of the body beneath you, sturdy, steady, hand under shoulder, knee under hip, foot facing the rear of your body. You know, your heel is facing your glutes right now. Then you're going to carefully begin to lift that raised leg up off of the floor, dialing your toes forward towards your face. Here we land in baby half moon. Hand extended, hand can be on your heart, hand in prayer, whatever you prefer. But this is absolutely a modification of half moon that can be utilized at any time in any practice. So you don't need to be standing, you can be here. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that on the other side, offering you, again, a variation of baby half moon. So here I am in my tabletop. You might be in downward facing dog, depending where you are in your practice. Either way, you're gonna wanna find your knees and you're gonna begin to shift your weight onto the balancing side of your body, which this time is going to be facing you on my right. You're going to swing your balancing foot towards your glute, and you're going to take your lifted leg long behind you. Raise the hand towards the ceiling, towards the sky, I should say. Sky's the limit, not the ceiling. And then you're gonna begin to lift that lifted leg and dial the toes up towards your face. Take a smile. Yes, absolutely. Hand is raised. Hand below you is right under your shoulder. hip is over your knees, one leg is high, here in baby half moon. And you have all kinds of playroom here. You can have your hand lifted, you can take a half bind, you can keep your hand at your heart. Either way, baby half moon is still half moon. So take that joyfully into your practice as you become acclimated to half moon postures. All right, friends, so here we go, getting ready to take flight with our half moon. I've got my block available to me, and I recommend this to you at home in your practice or in class in your practice. You're not allergic to your block is your friend, your block is your support, it's invited to the party. I cannot repeat this and reiterate this enough. Your ego is not your amigo when it comes to ostracizing your yoga blocks. So we're gonna enter half moon from a triangle variation. So your right foot or your back foot is already facing the long edge of your mat. Your balancing foot is facing the short edge of your mat. Your body is straight, legs are straight. Knees are not locked. A bend is always welcome if necessary for your knees. However, you do want to enter this with your legs as straight as is comfortable for you. So from here with your arms in warrior, you're going to begin to hinge at your hips as far forward as you possibly can. Reach towards that front of your mat. And then as you're ready, once your hips can bend no more, that's when you're going to go ahead and drop your hand on the inside. So the hand that is on the balancing side of your body is coming down, and your other hand is towards the ceiling or the sky. You're going to go ahead and lift all those toes, reground them, find that center in your foot, and begin to become heavy on that front foot. You can inch your block forward if you need to. Becoming heavy on that front foot and carefully, slowly taking the weight off of your back foot that is taking flight. So you don't jump forward, you don't lean forward heavily. You take baby steps and baby movements getting here to half moon. So, balancing foot is facing the short edge of your mat, and it is vertical and parallel to the long edge. Your flying foot, your floating foot, is dialed towards your face. Your toes are dialed forward, and your arm can be reaching the ceiling or reaching the sky. Your arm can be on your heart. Your arm can be in a half bind. And here we have our block for support. You can keep moving your block, finding where is your center, where is your gravity best distributed in your half moon. You can also take your block down a level if you're feeling ready for that. One thing I really want you to keep in mind here in half moon is that this is an external rotation with a heart opening intention. So your body is open wide. You're not dumping forward, you're not cowering forward, you're not on a curve, on a bend, or an inward rotation. You are externally rotated, and your heart is shining forward. Your toes, your heart, and your smile all dialed in the same direction here. When you are ready, if you are ready, you can leave your block behind and take full expression of half moon. So the last thing I want to offer you regarding Ardha Chandrasana Namaskar is the ability to practice on a flat wall for support, because like I said, this posture is meant to be a heart opening external rotation. And sometimes taking that posture without your teacher present or without someone you trust there to support you from behind, it can feel a little scary. You can really feel like you're very, very vulnerable, kind of floating there, and it can be intimidating to open up into the way that the posture is meant to be experienced. So I want to offer to you, coming to a flat wall, that we are going to use the same way that a hands-on assist would be given to you in class. So here I am at the flat wall. I am going to go ahead, and because the wall is not something I'm leaning on, it's not something I'm depending on, I'm not pressing my foot up against the wall. My foot is still towards the center of my mat. okay? So we are gonna enter from triangle once again. So I have both of my legs straight, my back leg is parallel with the short edge of the mat, my balancing leg is perpendicular to the short edge of the front of the mat. So here I am, warrior two arms, T arms, tilt, 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 reach, reach, reach to the front of your mat. Don't forget to invite your block. And now you're going to hinge at your hips, forward, forward, reaching for your block or reaching for the floor, whatever is in your practice. Your back arm is overhead, extended towards the sky, and you're going to ground down through that front foot, that balancing leg, and shift your weight gently, carefully towards that leg. Now, here I am in half moon. Here is the wall behind me. I'm not leaning into it, I'm not dumping into it. However, because the wall is behind me, I have this invitation to externally rotate and open my body in a way that I might be otherwise afraid to try. So I have my hand, the back of my lifted hand and my heel resting on the wall. And this gives me the opportunity to play here in half moon, supported and chest forward, heart forward, as the posture intends for you. So here in a wall supported half moon, you have all the opportunities in the world to play. And here a gentle little reminder, any amount of balancing or postures that you've taken on one side of your body, I cannot stress enough the importance of practicing an equal amount on the other side of your body in counter stretch. So if you've been practicing these half moons and these baby half moons on your left side as I have, it's time to go ahead and practice them over on the right. You can start the video over and take all of these same variations on the right side. I want to offer one more bit of thought for modifications involving half moon. If you're not ready energetically or physically to take flight with that rear leg, this is another great opportunity to invite another block to your mat. So I have my blocks essentially lined up exactly with each other on my mat, and one of them is going to be where I support myself with my hand, and the other is where I'm going to support myself with my foot. And this is something that we refer to in yoga as energetic prep. So you can take these modifications and they will prepare you energetically to get into these full asanas, if that's your goal, if you even want to. But if you are interested in this modification and an energetic prep, it's going to look something like this. Here, starting in triangle, tilting forward, bringing that front arm down, this arm up behind me, and instead of lifting my leg and taking flight, I'm simply bringing it to my rear block. And here I can hang out and I can practice externally rotating my chest, and I can practice lifting my hands and finding positions in which I'm comfortable with a little bit of added support. Your block also can be on a shorter edge. I just have mine on the long edge because I want to show you guys another little trick for energetic prep work. You might choose from here to begin ticking your foot up off your block and bringing it back down. So again, let me fix this little guy here. Lifting and bringing it back down, lifting and bringing it back down. And energetically, you're already structured from the waist up for your half moon. You're externally rotated. Your heart and your smile are shining forward. And you can lift that foot and bring it right back down to support until you're ready to fly. When you are ready to fly, you can just bring that foot up and forward, tilt those toes forward so that your heart, your smile, and your toes are all shining in the same direction. And then as you're ready, you can begin bringing your hand to heart, hands to prayer behind you. And then there are so many other variations of half moon, bound half moon, reverse bound half moon. None of these are in my practice right now, so I'm not going to embarrass myself by bringing that to the show. But I encourage you all to just begin experimenting and toying with that physical feeling and that energetic feeling of that heart shining open and that balancing, that powerful half moon expression. Not forgetting or limiting yourself outside of the realm of baby half moons and half moon modifications and energetic preps. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your practice. I so appreciate you all learning to play here with me at the beautiful Brownstone Station Meadow Suite, and hopefully we will see you again soon. Namaste.